Hey everyone out there, it is Sunday. It's around 1 o'clock. We are in Amarillo, Texas right now. We are parked at a campground, very unexpected. And so I just wanted to come on here and share a little update with you all, and also to spend some moments talking to you guys about this life. And this life, what do I mean by this life? This life is amazing. We have seen so many great things in the past 4 weeks. We had just left Albuquerque, New Mexico, where we came and joined up with a local group of disciples, and they invited us to come over and to bring a discipleship training, and we did for 3 weeks, and it was so fruitful. It was an amazing experience, just to see people activated, to be able to share this life with them, the life of freedom, the life of abundance, the life of joy, and just activation in the Lord, right, as a disciple. So it was so much good things that came out of this 3 weeks. But the reality is that, and I'm sure that you saw many posts on Facebook that we posted where we had a great ceremony, we had great kickstart. The Luke 10 testimonies, amazing, right? All these beautiful things on there. But the reality is that that's the only one side of it. That's only one part of this amazing life. And I believe that many times we don't talk so much about the other side. And if you look at, the Instagram posts, if you look at the Facebook posts, you see all the pictures and the images of people smiling, of people getting baptized and joy in their face, and you see all these things, right? And those are only highlights. Those are highlights of one side of this life. And those highlights do not represent the entirety of what we go through and what many people go through, right? Just talking to my family this morning, to my daughters, and hey, listen, don't you realize that everybody has troubles? Everybody has issues and problems, right? But when you look at these posts, when you look at the Instagram photos and everything else, you don't see that part. You just see the clean life. You see where everybody's made up. You see the houses are nice and order. The people that have #bus life and conversions. You see that their buses are well made, and they're in the middle of a desert with a nice landscape. Or if you look at these ministries, kickstarts, and other stuff, it's all happy and smiling. And the reality is, it's one aspect of it. But then there's another aspect that's not shown so much. The aspect where the bus is not clean, where the kitchen is a mess, and where you do wake up and you're not made up, And the only presentation I made for this video was put my hat on, because otherwise, my hair it's everywhere, because I got out of bed and my hair was just sticking up, But we're here in Amarillo, Texas, at a campground where last night we sat on the side of the road for about 5 hours with crazy amount of smoke coming out the exhaust, a hard knocking in the bus engine, and not knowing what to do. I'm not a diesel mechanic, not sure what to do, what to expect. You pull over, and we're on the side of the road for about 5 hours, and just watching the sun move past us, settling down, on our way to North Carolina. We just made it out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. We drove to Amarillo to go to the Cadillac Ranch. We left the Cadillac Ranch, everything's great, and all of a sudden, engine starts knocking. All of a sudden, there's black smoke's coming out like crazy. And we're here still in Amarillo after a whole day of traveling. It is Sunday. We're supposed to have been out of Texas by now. We're still here even till maybe Monday or Tuesday, just because the bus is not in a position to be taken on the road. And this is the reality. It's not fun and games. Yes, we have seen great things, but there's another side of it where these things do happen, right? These breakdowns do happen in our life. And this is just part of the life, guys. The part of life where we have to go through hardships. We have to go through these things. But at the end of it all, in the midst of this, when you set your mind to what you feel like the Lord is wanting you to learn, what does He want you to learn through all this? There is a lesson in this, whether it's building you up, whether it is he's slowing you down for a reason in the area. It's something that we need to, instead of stressing about it, instead of complaining in our flesh and in our own mind because of our own desires, because of what we wanted to do, because where we wanted to go, and some of the timelines that we had and people that we wanted to visit along the way. Besides all of these things, we got to ask ourselves, Lord, we plan our ways, God, but you direct our path. You lead our footsteps. So why are we here? What are we doing here? And so in the midst of our stress, in the midst of our concern, in the midst of not knowing what to do, we have to be able to live in a way where we're still joyful, where we still have a smile on our face, where we're still going to enjoy this campground. There's a swimming pool behind me where my children, my wife is right now, where we're still going to take this opportunity to live in a way where we are not stressing in ourselves, not knowing what to do. What if we what if we don't leave Texas for, I don't know, a week and a half? What are we going to do then, right? The thing is that this is part of the life also. And why do we do this, right? Someone says, why do you put yourself in this position? Well, because of these 3 weeks that we just went through. There's so much fruit. So many lives are being transformed and changed that every time we leave a training school, every time we leave a Kickstarter, every time we leave a fellowship or a gathering, and we see the lives being completely transformed, minds renewed, freedom in their life, deliverance, baptisms, breaking the chains of sin, and just seeing these transformations. How can we not live this life? This is something that we do because there's so much work to be done. And if this what we're going through right now is just a small price to pay to see groups of disciples transformed from place to place, why not do it? Why not take that risk? Why not say, I'm gonna just see what happens? And I told my wife, I said, we're broke down on the side of the road, but I'm broke down on the side of the road with you and with the family. We're together and we're learning through this, and the children they've expressed their thoughts, and some of the thoughts are like, man, I want to be in our destination already. I want to go see grandma, and then at some points they say, whoa, this has been the craziest trip ever, right? So there's these mixed emotions that we all get, but we don't see those things so much, right? You see all the great posts of what we did go through for the past 3 weeks, but now this isn't being shown. Like, this part of it's not being shown. And so I just want to show you guys that this is also part of the life. And after the apostles in the book of Acts were preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and when the Pharisees and Sadducees saw this and took them by force and put them in the county jail, the angel came out and said, go and stand and proclaim this life. They had just been incarcerated. They had just been taken in for preaching the gospel. He says, go preach this life. Why preach this life? They were just in jail. They had just gone through a hardship, and he said, go preach this life, because this life comes with goods and bad. It's how we live our life, ups and downs, but there's more ups than there are downs. There's more ups to this. There's more beautiful rewards than there is the little suffering in this present age, right? So Peter said, even though you go through suffering in this age, there's nothing compared. It's not going to be compared, and so this is how we live. We live this way. And do we like it? No, not always. We love it when it's great. We love it when we can get a point A to point B in peace. But do we love what we were able to experience along the way? Absolutely. These little hiccups, these little road bumps along the way, they're not so pleasant. And so our update is, We're not sure exactly how much time we're going to spend here in Amarillo. We got to talk to a mechanic here tomorrow. I tried calling him, but it's a weekend. And so we'll just see on Monday what happens, and then we'll determine our next destination. But we are still planning on doing a kickstart in South Carolina, the 9th and the 10th, and a kickstart in Pennsylvania, which is going to be September 31st and October 1st. And we're also going to spend some days in Pennsylvania for a few days afterwards. So if you're in the area, if you know people in the area, be ready for that. There's a couple of links on the place here. We're still planning on doing these things. How are we going to get there? How is it going to happen? I'm sure there's going to be a way, and we're going to be ready for it. We're going to be excited for it. The Lord is good. He is faithful. And we know that that's exactly where He wants us. And because of that, we know we'll make it there. We will make it there for sure. How, when, I'm not exactly sure about that. But that's okay. That's part of this life. Hallelujah. And we love it. And so for you out there, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of not being able to plan your life. Don't be afraid of not being able to know the ins and the outs of what this looks like for you and your family. Just know that if the Lord has called you to go out, you must go. If He's called you to go somewhere, you must go. He will direct your path. He will not leave you abandoned. It might seem like He steps away for a moment, but that's because He wants to see you grow. He wants to see you go through this and see how you handle this. Is your character going to be strong? Are you going to be firm in what you believe? This is a testing grounds. We don't preach this just to preach it, but I know that He wants us to live it. We preach it and we live it. And God bless you guys out there. Fix your eyes on Jesus. There's a reward and a prize at the end. Run this race. Endure into the end. Talk to you guys soon. God bless you.